Hi guys, I hope that you are all having a great day. So today we're going to be going into Google Classrooms and I'm going to be showing you how I want you completing the assignments that I give you. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. All right guys, I'm back and you're going to notice that on your screen I have already put up the Google Classroom. So this is how your Google Classroom is going to look when you open it, if you haven't already. You're going to notice that there are 3 tabs. You have Stream, Classwork, and People. What I want you to focus on, what's most important, is classwork. The Stream part, you're going to see that your assignments that Miss Dana and I post will be the first thing you see on the Stream tab. What's most important is that you go to classwork. And here you're going to have a breakdown with 2 different topics. The first topic you have ELA with Miss Bias, and the second topic you have math with Miss Sienna. So we're broken up into ELA and math. Clearly, since I'm Miss Bias, we're going to be focusing on ELA. You're going to notice that I have 1 assignment here. Miss Sienna has already put up an assignment for you to do as well, but we're going to focus on the assignment for ELA right now. So this assignment is going to be due for Friday. We are going to be doing it together. So yes, I'm going to complete the assignment, but you are still supposed to do the assignment. It's okay if you copy me. It's okay if you get write down the same answers. That's completely fine. The point of this assignment is, yes, for me to go over it with you, but I want to make sure you understand how to complete the work, and I want you to make sure you understand how to submit the work, meaning how to hand it in to me so that I can see it. So this is going to be due for Friday, and it's an example that we're going to go through together, and I'm going to break down everything for you so that you understand what to do and how to complete it and how to hand it in, okay? Because it's important for you to do the work, but it's even more important that you hand it in so I know you got it done. All right, so we're gonna go right into the tab. So this is assignment. Why does popcorn pop? What you're gonna see when I tapped it, if you notice, there it goes away, and I tap on it, you're gonna notice this picture here. You are going to tap on this picture. You can see the directions. It says read the text and restate and answer the questions. So I'm gonna tap on it, and when I tap on it, my assignment is going to pop up, okay? I'm always gonna have the I can statement here on top. You're gonna see that it says I can restate and answer questions using the text. And then the lesson number would be up here. This is a lesson example, so that's why I titled it that way. But usually for our next lesson, you're gonna see lesson 1, and lesson 2, so on and so forth, okay? So that's our I can statement, which is our target. This is what our goal is. And then when you come down, you're gonna see, why does popcorn pop? Type your name and read the text. Make sure to restate and answer all questions, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to type my name as it says. Then I'm gonna go down to the text. So I'm going to read the text once. You can pause the video and reread it again, because again, I always tell you, you have to read things more than once, right? So I'm gonna start, and then you can pause it when I'm done, and then we can get to the questions. Why does popcorn pop? Popcorn pops because of water. Each kernel of popcorn has a tiny droplet of water that came from the soil when the popcorn plant was first growing. The droplet of water in each popcorn kernel is surrounded by soft starch and a hard outer hull. When the kernel is heated, the water expands, turns into steam. The pressure builds up against the shell until the shell cracks, and the starch explodes outward, turning the kernel inside out. Pause the video, read it again. And then we have 3 questions we're focusing on. Number 1 says, why does popcorn pop? Number 2, where does the tiny droplet of water in each kernel come from? Number 3, what happens to the water inside the kernel when it is heated? So I need to make sure that I restate and answer these questions. So for the first one, why does popcorn pop? I'm going to restate it. I'm going to say popcorn pop because there's my restatement. Again, if you don't remember how to restate, please go back to my first 2 videos on this YouTube channel and watch the videos of me restating the question. All right, so you're gonna see that I'm gonna go from the questions back to the text. I'm gonna be scrolling up and down because we need to use our text to find the answers, okay? So I'm gonna go up and I'm going to look for my answer. It says here, popcorn pops because of water. Each kernel of popcorn has a tiny droplet of water that came from the soil when the popcorn plant was first growing. So that is my answer. I don't have to write everything. The main thing that I'm going to write is that popcorn pops because of the tiny water droplets it has inside, period. So I'm gonna check my answer, my restatement and my answer and make sure I have it right. So the question was, why does popcorn pop? Popcorn pops because of a tiny water droplet it has inside. Okay, now does your answer have to sound exactly like mine? No, it doesn't, but it needs to have a restatement and it needs to be the correct answer, but it has to make sense, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna move on to question 2. Where does a tiny droplet of water in each kernel come from? So I'm gonna restate it. I'm gonna say the tiny droplet of water comes from, and then I'm gonna scroll back up because I wanna look for my answer. And I remember it saying, yep, right here, the soil. So it says, each kernel of popcorn has a tiny droplet of water that comes from the soil when the popcorn plant was first growing. So that tiny droplet of water comes from the soil. So that's gonna be my answer. Notice that I'm capitalizing the beginning of my sentence and I'm ending it with a punctuation mark, okay? So I'm gonna check my work again as I'm going. Where does the tiny droplet of water in each kernel come from? And I wrote the tiny droplet of water comes from the soil. Boom, I'm all done. Now I'm gonna move on to number 3. What happens to the water inside the kernel when it is heated? Oh, we can start here. When it is heated, the water inside the kernel. So I took my restatement from my question, remember. So I took this part here, when it is heated, and I put it first, and then I have the water inside the kernel. So it says when it is heated, the water inside the kernel, and then we're gonna see what happens when it gets hot. It says here, when the kernel is heated, the water expands and turns into steam. So I'm gonna say, when it is heated, the water inside the kernel turns into steam. And that was my answer. Make sure I'm spelling correctly. There we go. So I went through and I restated and answered all of my questions using the text. Okay, so I used the text. I was going back and forth. And then what you're gonna do now is check all your work. Don't just say, oh, I'm done, I'm gonna hand it in. No, check your work first. So why does popcorn pop? Popcorn pops because of a tiny water droplet inside, it has inside. Number 2, where does the tiny droplet of water in each kernel come from? The tiny droplet of water comes from the soil. And then number 3, what happens to the water inside the kernel when it is heated? When it is heated, the water inside the kernel turns into steam, okay? Now, I'm all done with those 3 questions. Now, my next thing, I'm gonna go down to this part and it says, great job, time to click submit. After you click submit, the form will be sent straight to me, Ms. Baez. It'll be sent straight to me and become empty again. So you're gonna notice a red button here, okay? So when you press this red button or when you click submit, you're clicking submit. When you do that, you are handing in your work, okay? So I'm gonna click it and then you're gonna notice everything's gonna go away. And that means you completed it, you're all done, and you handed it in, okay? So watch. I press submit and this is what pops up. You are done. You don't have to open the assignment again. You're done. It says response submitted and assignment marked as done. You're all set. That is when you can X out and move on. Or if you have other assignments you have to do, you can work on those, of course. But this you can X out of, and then you can, let me show you now. So you can X out of this section here because I submitted it and I'm gonna X out. And then here's my work here. You're gonna notice it says turned in. I turned it in. No need for me to do it. I'm all set, okay? So, and if you have any other work, you can get that stuff done, but that is all set, okay? I hope that this little mini tutorial helps. Again, I hope you guys are doing good. You are getting your rest, you're taking care of yourself, and I hope that you are getting your work done with your iReady. I hope you're reading every day and completing your steps on Epic. You can use Epic, you can use other books that you have at home. And I hope you are making sure you are getting at least 1 lesson done a day on iReady. And I wish you all the luck with this Google Classroom. We're all learning. This is all different for us, but we are gonna get through it. So yeah, all right, have a great day. Bye.